Right now, ain't nothing going on in network. And somebody shit is buzzing. I don't know who. One of y'all.
This is what we do as black people. You know, we come in your house, you drink your liquor, steal your set, and then record the AWO Podcast. As assholes with voices. Shh. Taking all your stuff, all your notes, but to be Oprah rich.
God damn.
I don't fucking know. Okay, welcome to the AWO Podcast. We are the assholes with opinions. Shout out to the whole asshole nation. I'm your moderator and host, Sonny. We got the damn Deacon.
Yo.
We got G Gangs, aka Gainesville.
What's up, man? I'm angry. Let's go.
All right, fellas, let's get into it, man. Episode 7, Deke. Let's get the intro.
So, the theme of today's episode is perceived threats. Sometimes you got to know when to react when you think something is about to happen. Like the baby.
Please don't have him. Oh, no. Baby, no. I got on camera.
Now, we don't know what that fan...
What was he doing? Like, why did he just slap him, man?
We don't know what the fan was walking up to do. All I know is the baby is not having that shit. You walk... Hey,
no.
For everyone, all our AWO podcast fans, if you are out anywhere, happen to go to a concert or a club, and the baby is there, walk fucking light. Okay? You walk up on this motherfucker, it's gonna be some bad things happening, man.
Hey, can I get an order?
Like, he killed a motherfucker in the kids section at Walmart, man. Like, come on, bro. Like, the baby is not out here playing no games, man.
I think they got two categories of entertainers. They got some that are like perpetrate like they hard and just are completely not. And they got some that just kind of passing and they are like the hardest gangsters, like Thug.
He's a comedian. Like, he does like funny rap.
I thought he was a rapper.
Hey, let me tell you something.
Rapper, but he do like parody shit, like funny videos and all of that.
Wow. Let me tell you something.
Wow.
Hey, there's nothing funny about that dude, man.
Not a goddamn thing, man.
Nothing at all. You walk up on him thinking some shit funny. You in for a rude goddamn awakening, man.
He gonna lay it all on the line, man.
That dude.
They better leave the baby the fuck alone, man.
Yeah,
that
man.
dude
You gotta
not playing for real.
That man he stay ready, must be. He just stay ready.
But to your point, Games, he don't even come across like that. Like he do the little funny videos, or he joking, or he playing, got the little muscle suits on, walking around as a little guy. But you walk upon him the wrong way, shit is going
That man said when it's on set, when we on the set, it's the set. When we out here in life, I'm a thug. I'm about to go out and mess you up.
He is not bullshit. He is not bullshit. All right, well, let's get into the first topic, man. Perceived threats. Gaines, I know you had a story regarding the militia down there that you want to talk about.
Man, this dude here, like, he out here at the border, right? And his name escapes me. His fucking Larry Harden asshole or whatever. He's out there in New Mexico with his militia. So he has a militia that he's gathered together and stockpile guns. And he's training people to, to keep the border safe, right? Mm-hmm. And the problem I have with this shit is he's a felon, a 3-time felon. Mm-hmm. Gun possession, impersonating the officer. So now he has a group of people that they're armed and they're policing the border, detaining illegal immigrants because he's saying that he's keeping the border safe. The problem I have with this shit, though, is this dude was reported to the FBI as being a terroristic, making terroristic threats and training people to assassinate people in the government. Right. The FBI went to his house. So they went to his house and they say, hey, man, by the way, you a 3-time felon. And that's about 10 guns over there. So you shouldn't have that. And you know what they did? They walked the hell off. That was 2017. So now, since he's messing with immigrants, right? Now you're gonna come up and say, hey, we're gonna arrest you because you in the news because border security is a big thing now. So now we're gonna arrest you on some 2017 charges, right? And that's some bullshit. And people get mad when you say, well, the laws are the same for everybody. They be like, that's not the case. Don't perpetrate racist things. I want to give y'all one other story right quick, just real quick before I let y'all rebut. So everybody's remember Plexico Burris. He shot himself in the leg with his own gun, right? He wasn't a felon. He just had a gun where he shouldn't have had it. So
and it was legal. It was legal
it was
in
a legal
Florida.
gun, and he had a gun he shouldn't have had. He went sent to jail, right? Career over. He going to jail. But you mean to tell me this guy has been reported as being part of a militia and training people part of a militia, and he has lists that says that, okay, I want to assassinate George Soros, Obama, Clinton. Like, that's what you've been thinking. And he's like, well, that's not really the case. That's not true. But we know what is true. You have guns and you are a felon, right? So at that point, you are a threat, right?
And training people to join you in this cause in a legal activity. That's like the definition of terrorist activity, right?
Right. But you get to go free. You get to go hang out and keep doing it. But now when you mess with immigrants, because that's in the news, you know what the FBI says? In 2017, you messed up. And the bad part is, I might sound like an asshole, but his lawyer has a point. It's like, you ain't mess with me in 2017. Why you mess with me now? I mean, you shouldn't. You should have been put him in jail.
That's the question that comes up, that I would say comes to the forefront is, why didn't they lock him up in 2017? Like, what was said in 2017 as to why they just let him walk, and then now in 2019 you're arresting him on the same charges from 2017?
You know what I think? I think because it wasn't national news in 2017. It wasn't national news, so they was like, hey, just let this guy walk, just let him go. But had this been a group of young African Americans, they would have thrown them away back in 2017.
Not even that. We are not national news, right? Let that have been me. And let me have been a felon. And you caught me with 2 guns.
Not even 2. Catch
you caught me with 1 gun. You know what I'd have been? In the jail. Under the jail. Right. But the fact that now it's a hot topic issue where, it's border security, and now he's with the same people he trained for all those years. Now you at the border riding around on Facebook saying, look, we stopping immigrants with rifles. You detaining people. That's kidnapping, right?
Yeah.
That's kidnapping. But he's not even charged with none of that.
Right.
He's only
let me ask this.
Stuff from 2017.
Has he actually, because you can have those volunteers that sign up to serve as like Border Patrol, where they're given a certain amount of power along the border.
Nope. That's all on him.
So he's not officially signed up as a volunteer with Border Patrol?
He's been disowned. Like they say, we don't approve that kind of stuff. But the whole point is, in 2017, you should have gone to jail. Why are you not in the jail? Why are you not charged? You know what I'm saying? Don't tell me that there's the justice system is blanket and there's no, stop. This dude should have went to jail.
But let me ask you this. What the hell motivates somebody to get to this point where you and people who are following you are kidnapping people down on the border and shit? What were they doing with the people that they kidnapped?
They were detaining them. They say they were doing citizens arrest. How you gonna citizen arrest somebody who ain't a citizen?
I know one thing. You go out here and you try to perform a citizen arrest on somebody out on damn Main Street or something somewhere, you probably gonna get your fucking head blown off.
Exactly. You're doing that because it's easy for you to pick in them, and everybody's saying border security, so they're like, look. And the sad part is, not to get too political, but you got the administration saying, look what these guys are doing. You know what I'm saying? You got stuff like that. Like, they're saying this is an issue. But
see, that's the problem. They're looking at leadership and being like, oh, this is okay because this is the agenda right now. So we can do this with impunity. We can just continue to do this because there's no problem. This is what the higher ups want. That's what they're thinking. That's their mindset. When in actuality, it's crazy if you really think about it. If you really say it, they're riding up and down this border, detaining people with firearms. This one guy definitely shouldn't even own, right?
There's a little bit of karma in this, and this is how America works, right? This is a perfect example. He's doing illegal stuff. He's detaining people. So now he's been arrested. So you know what happened last week? He got his ass whipped in jail. So you know what happened now? His lawyer's like, we're concerned for his safety. You know what, bro? It's jail. You ain't safe. That's why you're in jail. When you were safe on the outside, you did stuff to put you in jail. So you know what? There is no safety. You know what? Good luck getting your ass whipped.
Hey, but hold on. Let me ask y'all something, because it kind of brings up an interesting conversation. I don't want to go too far down this road, but I do want to ask the question: do non-American citizens have American citizen rights? I'm asking.
You know why I don't know how to answer that? Because to the people who make the laws, it depends on what they want to use the non-citizens for. Like if it's non-citizens they're using for their benefit to build their businesses, to build their buildings or work on their products, then hey, it's all fine. Everything is all good, right? But as soon as these people come over here and they're doing for themselves and getting businesses for themselves and growing things for themselves, then it's a goddamn problem. You know,
3/5 of a man is the how it was said, right? And that's what it is.
Yeah.
Well, because I'm wondering if this guy could make the argument that, well, it's not kidnapping, I'm just securing the border. If these are illegal immigrants sneaking into the country, does our justice system apply?
You know what? That's my whole point is let's take that part out of it. I see where you're going with that, but us three, we can go and do that. You are a felon. You cannot possess a gun, let alone possess a gun with a bunch of other people that are quote unquote militia or constitutionalists or whatever you call yourself, you know, and then go with the guns. Regardless of you bringing anybody else into it, you are a felon. It is illegal for you to have a gun. Therefore, when you have a gun, you know what happened? You're supposed to go to jail.
So it don't matter if the laws go with the illegal immigrants who are trying to cross into the country.
Right.
That matters if the laws apply to this American citizen who's breaking them at the time.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. But you know what it is? Okay if you break them to mess with those people.
Gaines, I understand what you're saying, and I understand when you go on those rants about the laws, right? But the truth of the matter is the law only fits to whoever's agenda is working at the time. It's not going to be the same for everybody.
Exactly.
It's not. There's a book of law, but it doesn't apply to everyone the same way. We can go way back years ago. Do y'all remember? Matter of fact, how many times has what's the one actress name? Lindsay Lohan. How many times has she been arrested? How many times has she been charged? How many times has she served actual jail time?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? She don't never serve no jail. The one girl told those people she had to go home, and they let her out of prison. The Hilton girl. They let her out of prison. Man, the laws are not going to apply to everybody the same.
But the thing
then you got people like, one more thing real quick. Then you got people like Meek Mill, who has been doing things for justice reform, right? Hasn't had another legal situation since he was young.
On the 4-wheeler or whatever.
Right.
He asked permission to go to a basketball game in Toronto. The judge said, nah, you go to the game, we locking you up.
Because there's
what type of mess is that?
There's an unspoken thing that people do not want to realize, man. People in general, people are biased, right? People don't want to admit that, but they are biased. So if you have two people commit the same crime, it goes up to somebody who is biased, right? And that's what people don't understand. It's not about, you could say, you know, Republican, Democrat, whatever. No, it's down to the people who are biased. So if you got a judge that gets a trial that says, hey, this guy has an illegal gun, but what is he doing with this illegal gun? He's messing with immigrants. I don't like immigrants either, so let's let that pass. You got a guy who shoots himself in the leg in the club. You know what? I don't like that guy. You know what? This is the law, so the law applies to you. It don't apply to this guy though. You know what I'm saying? It's like I always say, all animals are created equal, but some are more equal than others. It all depends on who judges you. You know what I'm saying? And that's the problem. Like, they let this guy go. Like, it should be clear cut. If you are a felon, and it's either one or two things. Felons can have guns or felons can't.
Right.
Which one is it?
But you know what though? At the same time, on other sides, I just wish if the exceptions are made in situations on side A, I wish the same exceptions were made on side B. You know, like imagine if like that Sean Taylor incident from years ago.
Okay.
Imagine when those guys broke into Sean Taylor's house. Sean Taylor could reach for a firearm and shoot back. You know, He doesn't have a firearm out in public. He had a charge, doesn't have it out in public, but had it in his home. You know, Let's let that slide. Like, why do we need to punish him for having this in his house? You know, so it's like there's just so many gray areas, man. I feel like the rules and laws do not match today's society. Because as cut and dry as they are, there's too many gray areas that exist nowadays. Because there's too much shit that happens in between line 1 and line 3. It's too many situations that can happen in between them two lines, man, that don't make it clear cut like this person is guilty, this person is innocent, you know?
So then along the lines of that thinking, today, would you say, boy, this is a question to both of y'all. Today, would you say that the law is the threat?
Nope. I don't think so.
Okay.
I think it's the people who are charged with
enforcing.
How do you say? Yeah, enforcing the law.
Yep.
So okay, well, let me rephrase the question then. Who's doing more damage? The people that are perceived to break the law, or the people that are actually writing these laws with, I'll say, inherent favoritism?
I don't even think that it's the people writing the laws that's the problem. I think the ones that are enforcing it, because it's not the people who wrote the law about being a felon. It's the people who showed up to enforce, to be like, hey, you shouldn't do this. We got to report it to the judge. We're like, well, we're just not going to say nothing about it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And this just goes to say, this is kind of a segue to the other guy. So the Coast Guard guy, so this guy was a military officer, right? He was a trained military officer. We trained him to kill or defend, right? Right. So this guy had a hit list that says, I want to kill. Matter of fact, I'll even go right into the body of the story. The guy says that he Googled, his search history says, are Supreme Court justices, do they have armed bodyguards? Then the next thing was, what's the best gun? He Googled this shit. What is the best gun to kill African Americans? He Googled this shit. This is on your computer search history in your basement, because he lived in the basement, right? Yeah. You didn't have a damn house. You're in the basement. And then you stockpile weapons, and then you stockpile steroids and all kind of other stuff. When they caught this dude, he said, well, the steroids, I'm not taking them no more. That's like me saying, you know what? I got weed in the house, but I don't smoke weed no more.
I don't smoke it no more. Yeah, I just got shit.
That doesn't work.
Yeah, it's just right?
So fast forward, they said that instead of, this is terroristic threats, instead of saying, hey, do these guys have armed security, right? Mm-hmm. What's the best gun to kill this group of people? I have all these guns. I have silencers that without a class 3 is illegal, right? Right. Yep. I have them I made myself. I have gunpowder on these silencers that I tried to use it, right? Whether you're in the backyard or shooting range, whatever. At that point, you are illegal. At that point, you are a terrorist, right? Mm. You are targeting a certain group of people or certain people. But you know what? He was released. They're getting ready to release him on gun charge. He wasn't charged as a domestic terrorist. He was charged on illegal firearms. So you know what? He gets bail. He gets to be released. Now you basically have all the evidence right there to convict somebody, right? And just like Deke said, so you're gonna say you can't send Meek Mills to Toronto for a game because it's against the law, but you could have rifles with homemade silencers and a hit list and your Google history can say, how did the Norway attack that killed 77 people happen? So you're Googling all that stuff. That's a timeline, right? So you mean to tell me you can let this guy go and he's not a terrorist? And the excuse was, we're going to keep a very close eye on him. So this is fucking fishing now? We catching and releasing terrorists? That's how we roll?
You know, another question I got for that one, though? Because another part of that also, like, his lawyer. Like, what story did his lawyer spin?
Wait, who's lawyer? The Coast Guard guy or Meek Mill's guy lawyer?
The Coast Guard guy.
Coast Guard
guy. How did he spin that?
It's a good point. His lawyers say even though these are, you know, concerning actions, they shouldn't warrant continued detention. So they let him go. So if you get a hit list, if y'all sit here and write down a list, and I say, I want to kill 5 people. I want to kill Brie Larson, Beyonce, I don't know, Jay-Z, fucking Meek Mills, and Joey Bosa, right? If I make that list and I have a bunch of guns, that's just the random names, right?
Joey Bosa gonna be so pissed he on that list.
Exactly. Hey, so we keeping this part, but fuck him, whatever. If I make that list, if I stockpile guns, and if I sit there and get caught with them, and get caught with weed, and I say, hey, I don't use the weed no more, and those are personal items, and you know, that was private thoughts. That's another thing they say. Those are private thoughts. You know, even though I wrote it down, it's a private thought, so that's free speech. It's my own personal thought. Then you know what? That doesn't matter. I should be let out. Man, they'll put me under the jail.
Hey, but you know what? Yeah, I got another question for that too. For both of y'all, do you think that defense works if his last name is Muhammad?
No.
Hell no.
Think that defense works then?
If your last name Muhammad and you go to Home Depot and buy fertilizer, you on the list.
Yeah, basically. I mean, I remember like when we were all growing up and we first started really hearing about like flagged items or flagged books and things like that.
The harsh truth of that shit, man. It's people get judged on. They give you this whole thing about this is everybody's evil and it ain't, dude. It ain't. No. Where I live at, and this is the sad part, and another part of the rant, I feel like I'm ranting all the time, but I can't open carry my gun on my side. I have to conceal carry it because I did that one time. I went in Walmart one time to buy ammo on the way to the shooting range, and I got followed around Walmart by a freaking officer. Wasn't even his jurisdiction. I just got followed around because my gun was out. You know what I'm saying?
Dog,
why is that the case? You know?
But
why is
you
it
see, in your case, that's risking your life. You know what I'm saying? Because we all remember this shit right here.
Gunshots in the store.
Gunshots. And a 22-year-old black man, John Crawford, lay dying on the floor of a Walmart in Beaver Creek, Ohio. Shot and killed by a white police officer, as seen here on surveillance video, almost immediately when they approached him. Crawford had been in the store for several minutes, holding a gun and talking on his cell phone.
There's a gentleman walking around with a gun in the store.
Is he got it pulled out?
Yeah, he's like pointing at people.
What does he look like?
He's a black male, probably about 6 foot tall.
Police were dispatched to the store, thinking they were headed to an active shooter situation based on the witness who called 911. They didn't know Crawford was holding a toy gun he had picked up in the store. 5 weeks later, the 911 caller told the Guardian newspaper, quote, "At no point did he shoulder the rifle and point it at somebody."
This guy was walking around Walmart on his phone, holding a BB gun he picked up off the shelf in the store.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And these cops run in and shoot him down. He don't even know. God rest his soul in the afterlife right now, but he doesn't even know what happened to him.
Nope.
He doesn't even know. He has no idea what happened to him.
He was shopping. Right. He was shopping. No, that's the sad part, dude. That's the sad part about the way I'll single myself out. So I support Second Amendment. You know what I'm saying? I kind of tethered either way with some candidates. Now I don't tether with them, but I fear for my life. So you mean to tell me if I get pulled over, somebody confront me, Second Amendment means I can have my gun, but that might happen to me because I have my gun. You know what I'm saying? Why is that the case? Why is I could wave if I'm someone else, I could wave my gun all over the place and there's no problem. But just me as a taxpaying regular citizen, I support this amendment. I go to shooting range. I follow all the laws. I have all the safes and everything else. Why, when I do the same thing as anybody else, I can die? Why would I get?
You should print you a list of you should print you a list of candidates you want to kill, and then go and kidnap some immigrants. Then they'll leave you alone.
They'll leave you alone
for the next 2 years. Yeah.
No, I was pulled over one night, dude, and I'll give it back to you, D. I was pulled over one night, and I am blessed because of the cop that pulled me over, and it was a white officer. He pulled me over, and he said, "Dude, do you have any guns on you?" And I said, "Yep, it's in the dash right there. It's in, you know what I'm saying? It's right there." You know what I'm saying? He's like, "Okay, you mind stepping out of the car for mine and your safety?" I said, I don't have a problem at all. I got out the car. He went in the car. He said, "Man, this is a nice gun." I said, "Yeah, I like it. It's, it's concealable, whatever." We had a nice conversation. We talked about it. Had that been, a number of other people, it's a threat. And you know what I'm saying? You shoot them.
Right.
You know what? It's America. You can have a gun. That's what the Second Amendment is for. If you can't have a gun, get rid of the Second Amendment and take the guns. You ain't going to do that. So don't get mad because I have a gun. That's my right. You know what I'm saying? Don't ask me to vote for people that defend the Second Amendment if it don't apply to me.
Let me ask you something. I'm gonna ask you something specifically, Gaines.
Mm-hmm.
So if let's say they revoke the Second Amendment right, your Second Amendment rights, right?
Mm-hmm.
You giving up your gun?
I mean, it's the law. I follow the law. Everybody don't.
Yeah.
But my point is this: if that's what you're gonna do, when in the time when I'm giving up mine, you go to New Mexico and take that dude's. You know what I'm saying? You go to the ranch, what's that ranch in Dakota or whatever? You go up there and take theirs. You know what? They're going to stand there for 5 days with guns and say, "Pride from my cold dead hand." You know what? But then they're going to look at Chicago as a threat. Go look at those dudes as a threat.
Yeah,
they got the government behind them. You know what I'm saying? If you want to take them all, you know what? Come in and take them all. But that won't happen. You know where you're going to go? You're going to go to certain spots, and you're going to take them in certain spots. Exactly. You ain't going to go everywhere and take them, and that's the problem. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's gonna take forever to get to the other places.
Exactly. You can't tell me vote for somebody who defends the Second Amendment if you ain't defending it for me. I'm scared, so I'm gonna shoot. Why you ain't scared of this dude in New Mexico? When you go in there, he's a felon, and you see guns. You know what I felt better? And it's the asshole in me. I would have felt better if the FBI said, "Oh, he's a felon with guns. Let's shoot his ass, and now we'll figure it out." But you do that shit for us. You know what I'm saying?
Well, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait. Now, let me ask this. Are we maybe lumping two different arguments together? Part of what we were talking about before was more so dealing with the people who enforce the laws from like a judicial standpoint more so. We were talking about judges and things, people who interpret the law, I should say. And then now it seems more so like we're kind of blending in the conversation of the police or the FBI or people whose job it is to enforce the laws, not interpret the law. So are we kind of mixing two different arguments here?
I think so, but I'm going to tell you what I think we're mixing. So the situation, we're talking about this guy on the border taking people into custody and all that with his firearms.
Right.
That's a Second Amendment violation, right? Because he's a felon. He shouldn't have those guns. We talk about that militia out in Oregon who held that place captive for like 7 days or something like that?
Right.
Their firearms. That's a Second Amendment issue, right? They holding a place captive with their firearms, with their guns.
Okay.
That video we just watched don't have shit to do with the Second Amendment. This kid didn't have a gun. This kid had a toy in the store.
Okay.
I don't give a damn what the Second Amendment, and I agree with you on your stance with the Second Amendment, but I don't give a damn what it is in that situation. This kid, what he was doing had nothing to do with any Second Amendment laws. He was in the store on a phone holding a toy. If we break it down to the bare facts, he had a phone and a toy in a store. That's it. There were no firearms involved.
It ties back to our theme, perceived threats.
Yeah.
If you are African American, if you are Spanish, you are a perceived threat.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You are a perceived threat automatically. I'm a perceived threat. Even though I'm the most docile person you might know, I'm a perceived threat. You know, if I'm in Oregon with a militia on a ranch, or if I'm in New Mexico in the mission, I'm a felon or whatever, I'm not a perceived threat. Until
that's crazy.
And that's the sad part. Like you have more guns than me. You have I'm not a you. This guy's sitting there. I'm sure he has about 100, 200 rounds of ammo or whatever. If I got my one magazine and my one gun, you know what? I'm a perceived threat. I'm gonna shoot first and ask questions later. Did he have a gun? Oh, well, that's the reason why we shot him first, because he could have got that gun. This guy has a gun. You're going in knowing he has guns, and he's not a perceived threat. That's the problem.
Nobody in that Walmart was in danger until the officers showed up and started shooting inside this store. There was no danger. There was no threat before that point. And honestly, I mean, my personal opinion, watching the piece of that video we just watched, I don't know if we can really put this all on the officers. If you going into a building thinking there's a guy with an assault rifle running around pointing this at somebody, you see this man from 10 yards, from 15 yards, what you gonna think?
Or shoot first.
Oh, well, that
your
goes
mind
back
is gonna play. You're not gonna see. You're not gonna see a toy.
But that goes back to
rifle.
That goes back to what you said, even about the laws, where everything isn't black and white. You got levels of gray in the middle. So it's an unfortunate situation on both sides, because someone loses their life. But the part that I think people don't talk about enough is somebody also has to live with the fact that they took somebody. You know what I mean?
And the guy who lied and caused the situation to happen. There was a guy who told a blatant lie.
Mm-hmm.
Where's his justice? He told these people this guy was in this Walmart pointing his gun at people, threatening. He said this. That lie is what caused that whole situation to happen.
Right.
Come on, man.
But you know what? It's okay. He's not the threat. It don't matter. That's the thing. It doesn't apply. It's not a blanket thing. That's the problem. Like people, we say it's grays in it, but at some point those grays turn to black and white. Those grays turn to brown and white. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad to say, and I hate it's like that. I wish it wasn't. Because if it was just equal, if you are a felon, you don't have guns. That's it. Let it go. You know what I'm saying? If you are white waving a gun around in Walmart, a real gun, you get shot, that's cool. If you're a black waving a real gun in Walmart, you get shot, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But if you not, or if you lied to the cops, that caused a shooting. If you are white, that is wrong. If you're black, that is wrong. You know what I'm saying?
And you know what? This is my last point I'm gonna make to it, man, because it's just a sad situation. Me, my son, my nephews, and them, we all used, when they was little, we used to have all the Nerf guns. We would go get a bunch of ammo. We would go outside to some random parking lot or something like that and have us a Nerf war with the Nerf guns and all of that.
So if you want some, come and get some.
I wouldn't dare do that with them today. I wouldn't dare do that.
Know what I do? We got to have it in the house. And I got to tell my daughter that we have this in the house. This can't leave the house. Even though this Nerf gun is blue and orange, it don't leave the house. It don't leave the house. Because we may perceive this threats. I have white and black friends, and they are both outraged at it. And I have white and black friends, and they are not. It's a color thing, but it just depends on what you follow. Some people are so outraged at it that they're more outraged than me, which is sad because I'm looking at my life, and there's some that just whatever. That's just the way it is, And it's the problem. It's like there's no middle ground. But when you pander hate all day and pander this shit all day, it's the same shit. You can't do that.
Hold on.
Oh shit. God damn.
Nah, look.
Oh, okay. I was about to say. Hey, look, bro, nothing about that shit look healthy at all. I'm like, bro, nothing about that shit.
I'm an alcoholic. That shit hurt my liver.
I was sitting there, bro. I'm like, man, let me put this on my checklist. Call Deacon after the show. And make sure,
better turn episode 8 into an intervention with that shit.
Yeah.
You on the spot.
What are you talking about?
You on the podcast now. What you think about the podcast?
y'all giving great knowledge to the young folks about what's going on in the world too. So yeah, y'all heads up, keep your heads up. Everybody tuned into it. You'll learn something out of it.
Appreciate it,
man. Appreciate it.
Shout out to the young fella.
Shout out to the young man.
Caller number 2.
We got 2.
Caller number 2. Yeah, we got 2. Caller number 2.
Yeah, but text me the information.
Hey, Dickie.
Yo.
You want to talk about Tyreek Hill?
This stupid motherfucker here, man. You know how some stuff just piss you? Some stuff just piss you off, like, right away,
Right.
The story. So before we even talk about the story, before I go into the backstory and all that, I just want y'all to hear one thing.
Okay.
He is terrified of you, and you say that he respects you, but it's not respect. It's terrified. He is terrified of you.
You need to be terrified of me too. No. Didn't do nothing. That's sad, bro. That is really sad.
Then why does say daddy did it? Why? Why does say daddy did it?
I don't know.
Now somehow this investigation got brought back up, and you're about to lose your. So now I really want you to sit and think about it, because I rode for you against that detective and the CPS people, and they said time and time again that literally kept saying, Daddy punches me, which you do. And he starts crying. What do? You make him open up his arms and you punch him in the chest.
So,
wow.
That was audio of Tyreek Hill talking to his son's mother. Now, let me give y'all some backstory on Tyreek Hill.
Okay.
So, everybody knows the heroic story of Tyreek Hill making it out of a smaller Alabama school, right, into the NFL.
Right.
This is the part they don't tell. Because as you all know, Tyreek Hill is a 3-time All-Pro since he's been in the league, right?
Got you.
He didn't start out at this small school in Alabama. He went to Oklahoma State first out of high school, right?
What happened there?
He beat up the girl that he was just talking to on the audio. He beat her up while she was pregnant.
Wow.
Got booted out of the school.
Wow.
Yeah. So now that he's a multi-millionaire in the league, he's gotten over all of that other stuff. That stuff happened way before he was drafted.
Is he though? Is he though? Like, not the sidebar, but is he though? Like, he's on a rookie deal, right?
Yeah. No. I think they paid Tyreek Hill already. Okay. I might be wrong on that one.
I'm just trying to get a context of how much money is involved for her to even participate in this stuff. But go ahead.
Yeah. So now, his son has a broken arm. The cops investigated. They couldn't find who the cause was, the mother or the father. So they dropped the investigation. Now this audio comes out. They're circling back around. They're now reopening this investigation. Currently, the child is not with the mother or Tyreek Hill. The Kansas City Chiefs have barred him from the facility.
As they should.
This guy was riding high on this 3-year career. Yeah, you're right, guys. He hasn't been paid yet. This is third year. 3-year career, he was riding high. And now look at what he's done to himself over his pride, man.
Hey, I got a question though. Where are we getting this audio from? Who recorded this?
That I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's the
leaked it, because it's got to come from.
I think
right?
What I heard was I think that she recorded it and gave it to somebody for safekeeping, who gave it to somebody, who talked to somebody. You know how they go. If you say don't tell nobody, that mean they're telling one person.
Come on, man.
If you say don't tell nobody in the world, that mean they're telling 2 people.
This is why I don't think the girl meant for this to come out, or she was dumb with the way she did it. She perjured herself on the call.
Yep.
Because when the cops were initially investigating this child abuse, she lied and covered for Tyreek Hill. And she says this on the call, that she held him down.
So she said, I lied for you.
Yeah, she said
I held you. Yeah, she said I held you down. Yeah.
Man, see?
Come on, man. Come on.
Money's more important than your kids' health, than your kids' well-being, than your kids being with their actual parents.
How are you a multimillionaire and your kid is not with his mother or father? That don't make no sense to me.
So, all right. Well, here's a question. I remember a few weeks back on the podcast where I don't remember which one of y'all said it, but we were saying that sometimes people need to be given a second chance, or you get a second chance when you win it. Do y'all feel like this man gets a second chance? He deserves a second chance for this?
Want to get that first D?
This is his second chance. People don't realize he got his second chance after the Oklahoma State when he decided to beat up his pregnant girlfriend. This is his second chance right here. He was on it. He was on his second chance. Now the question is, do we feel sorry for him if he don't get a third?
No,
I'm sorry.
And
I gotta keep it consistent. I don't feel sorry for nobody who does anything to the kids. And then when you got this phone call, my fault, Gaines.
No, you go ahead.
But when you got this phone call, that blatantly, clearly kind of lays it out like, bro, let's cover up the fact that I broke my son's fucking arm. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. I'm gonna ask you both. I'm gonna ask you both this question because I'm just gonna see where your mind goes immediately. Okay. So, Malik, your wife, Gaines, your wife. Say they call you, and the first thing they say to you is, your child is scared of you. Don't want to be around you because they're scared of you.
I'm like, why?
Where did you go?
What have I done?
What'd you say first, Gaines?
I said, what have I done? Why?
No,
why?
The first question was, why? Right?
Yeah, right. Why?
Try to figure out what in the world is going on.
Right. Yeah,
that's
why?
What any rational parent would do. But his first response be to threaten the girl.
Right.
You're not thinking on why is my son afraid of me? Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
That means he's gotten away with it too much. You know what I'm saying? And the second chance thing, okay, Vic deserved the second chance. He was fighting dogs. And that might sound bad, but that's a dog. That's not a kid. Right. You know what I'm saying? And the other thing
I don't give a fuck about these Peter people. That man shouldn't have gone to jail for 2 years over no dogs.
No, don't go off on Vic. I want to stick with this.
No, I'm saying I'm getting that too though. The same thing with Kareem Hunt. So Kareem Hunt's thing was a chick who went to the party with him and was trying to be the groupie chick, and he got into it with her. Okay, that's something else, right? That's a whole other thing. But you beating on a 3-year-old. And I don't, same thing, we assholes, right? But you getting into it with a grown ass woman as opposed to hitting a 3-year-old, that's two totally different things.
Totally different things.
Right. So you don't deserve a second chance, even though you had your second chance and blew it. At that point, just go ahead and hang it up. You know what I'm saying? Go to the XFL or something if they let you in, but you done now.
Not only hitting the 3-year-old, the
breaking their arm.
Woman accused him of making the 3-year-old, when he cries, making him hold his arms out, and he punch him in the
chest, right? Yeah.
He's an NFL player. He's working out all the time as a part of his profession, and he's punching a 3-year-old in the chest.
They should get somebody from UFC to punch him in the chest a couple of times and let him know how he feel it.
Hey, Dick, let me ask you something. Is the girlfriend, is she also the mom? Is she also the mother?
No. It's two different things.
This is not her kid.
The girlfriend was Kareem Hunt. That was the running back who got
No. I'm talking about this Tyreek Hill situation. Yeah. The female on the call, is she the mom?
The mother of the child. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. So she is the mom, right?
Yeah, she's the mom.
Okay. All right. So she's the mom. 2-part question for both of y'all. How do we feel about her being complicit in this shit? Number one thing. And number two thing, do we kind of think it's more so her being trapped in an abusive relationship?
I don't know, because I don't know if they still in a relationship. Yeah, that's my thing. He's bringing all this money. It's security for her, for this child, all of that. I would say she's trying to protect that, but if that's the case, why record this? And why give it to somebody?
That's what I was getting. That's what I was getting to. Why record this and let it get outside of your house?
But even if for all the money you letting somebody break your fucking child's arm at 3, I'm not with it. I'm not with it. You know.
For the fact that she think money is more important than her child's health, she should go ahead and Get her too.
Yo,
And the
child
sad
telling
and
you
the
at 3, he's scared to go over here to dad.
Yep.
Because he's scared of him. You know?
And the karma that is now once this little what is it on his rookie deal, what you get a rookie deal like $500 a year or something like that? 500 grand. Once that's done, I hope that was worth it to you. Because now you don't have your kid. That money's gonna dry up quick. I hope that was worth it to you because you just sold your soul for that shit.
And outside of the football part, like this man may do some time over this. You can't go around breaking the 3-year-old's arm.
I mean, but is anybody
she do time too though? Because she perjured herself. She do time too.
Yeah.
Let them both go.
And at the end of the day,
but is anybody looking into this for criminal charges?
Yeah. The investigators, they had closed the case.
Right.
They reopened it when this audio came out.
Mm-hmm.
So, and now if something does happen, let's say worst case, right? Let's say he does have to go do 6 months or something like that, go to a program. Right. He's off a team for this next season coming up. He has a hard time getting on another team because nobody wants to deal with the stigma, right? Worst case. How do you think this son can be safe with him alone after that? After his career is over. If he ain't safe with him now.
Yeah.
How could he be safe with him after that when the father is thinking, you the fucking reason this happened?
Because it's always somebody else's fault.
Or the father's thinking the mom, you the reason this happened. That's how Ray Caruth's situations happen.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's sad, man.
That's putting too much on that kid. That kid 3 years old. All he was thinking was he needed somebody to protect him because he was literally scared to be over here by himself.
And what he said, what she said in the call, she was like, yeah, kids at that age don't lie. You know what I'm saying? All they know is they don't know lie for this, lie for that. That's just the truth. Right, so for him to have those feelings, it's something in that. You know what I'm saying? And you confirming it. And then she confirmed from what you were saying. She confirmed saying, like, I rode for you or whatever. I was doing this or whatever. So you know what? They both need to get it. And as far as the league, if you want to talk about, crimes against kids, like Adrian Peterson, okay, he spanked his kid. He shouldn't have did that because he was strong. And you can say all of that stuff, whatever. But this dude punching on his kid and then
that's too tough.
You might as well just hang it up, dude. You done.
Yeah, but do we really think? And I'm just asking an honest question. Do we really think that the NFL wouldn't develop short-term memory on this?
They can't.
Not on this one.
Look at what they did to Kareem Hunt. Over the kick to the girl in that lobby. He's suspended for 8 games this season.
No, but look what they did to. But it depends. Look what they did to Ray Rice.
Yeah, Ray Rice's career was over.
I think Kareem Hunt
associated with that Ray Rice though.
Yeah, but there was video with Ray Rice. There was video with Kareem Hunt, and there's this. But this guy is confirming. Yeah, I did it. You know what I'm saying? He sounded like Samuel. And yeah, I did it. I hope they burn in hell. He sounded like that. Like he's confident in himself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they need to just go ahead and let this man go. The sad part about all this is Kansas City was horrible for years. They could never win the big one, right? And this is the NFL part of it. I know it's bad for the kid and all that. They're gonna address that. He's done, right? The bad part, Kansas City went from having all of this talent, the Madden cover NFL athlete,
right,
as your quarterback, your young quarterback on the rookie deal. You went to that, and now your top 2 offensive weapons are gone. And it's not even free agency. It's not even money. It's just discipline. It's social issues. Like
why he lost all his weapons.
Yep. That's they built it the right way through the draft. You know what I'm saying? And all of that. And you get to win. That dude in Kansas City, the owner got to be coming like, man, come on, bro. Like, I happen to get one person but that's the thing, you got to do your research. I got one that beat a girl up. Then I got the other one that was beating his girlfriend at the time, pregnant girlfriend.
Yeah.
You know what? You might well just let him go. Let him go.
Yeah, but that's a sad. This is a sad situation all the way around with this Hill situation. Whether you want to blame him, whether you want to blame her, like Gaines said, whether you blame them both. At the end of the day, there's a kid affected with it. So
either way it goes.
Yeah,
Either
that's
way
all.
it
That's
goes,
all that matters. There's a kid that's out here damaged and traumatized from the situation.
That kid asked to be here, man. That's the problem.
You're right. So next up, my favorite part of the show, we got the Games Corner.
Games Corner.
Let's light it up a little bit, man.
Woo! Animation. Fuck your extra clap. Your extra clap fucked up my damn phrase.
Who, me or Sonny? Which one you fucking at?
That wasn't me.
No, not Sonny. The motherfucker with the Christmas shirt on in April.
Hey, look. Shout out to the 90s, man. Best cartoons ever. Look at that shit. Filoni had the best cartoons ever, man.
Yo,
what's your
AWO Podcast contest. Stand up real quick one more time, Games. Anybody who can name that dinosaur, we'll send you a special like on social media. That's all we got to give you right now.
God, man, I'm gonna like your picture. Man, we'll send them something, man. We got something in the work. We'll send something out.
Give us the dinosaur's name.
I got something we can send out.
Hey, hold on. That merch coming soon. Games, what you got for this week, man, for the Games Corner?
All right, man. So we're gonna go into this like animals are loyal. We talked about a little bit of you touched on the Mike Vick thing and all that, but animals are loyal. And this week we got the most loyal animal out there. So in Brazil, these drug dealers, these crack dealers, like they were hardcore. They wouldn't even know weed. They trained this parrot to alert them when the cops came. Hold on. It gets better. Hold on. It gets better.
Wow.
So the cops ran up. So the parrot screamed, "Mamia policia," right? So that means mama police. So the cops came and the parrot was screaming that shit out, right?
Right.
Screaming that out. And the cops came, it alerted the crack dealers. It was a chick, he was telling the girl, hey, look, cops are here. So they scattered, they caught him or whatever, right? So now they call him the Papagaio do Tráfico. So that means drug dealing parrot. But the best part of this story, though, is once they got him, right? Once the cops came in and got the parrot, they got him in the office and said, okay, we need you to talk. And they started saying stuff to the parrot. The parrot did not speak at all. Parrot said, hey, snitches get stitches.
Oh, shit. Wait a minute. So they trained the parrot. They trained the parrot to alert them when the police showed up. But they also trained the parrot that when you in that room downtown with them boys, you don't say it.
You don't say a thing. So they question this parrot.
Being a real street nigga.
Parrot. Hey, that parrot realer than 6'9" Tekashi. Hey, 6'9" say, I did this on this date with this person and this person. Look at him.
Hey,
Tekashi the parrot standing tough on him.
Boosie about to go bail out that parrot next week, man. Have him in the crib.
Yeah. The parrot standing tough on him.
They sending that parrot to the zoo now, and they said they're gonna release him when he learn how to fly.
Man, that parrot can't go to no zoo, man. That parrot gonna be in there laying down long. What you mean, man?
Hey,
there's gonna be some birds in there get fucked up,
bro.
Hey, the parrot is the realest one out there. The parrot is realer than these gangster rappers out here now.
I'm trying to tell you, the parrot is the truth.
Hey.
Parrot say, I ain't saying shit.
That parrot, they still have not gotten the parrot to speak yet. He's not spoken yet.
Hey,
but that parrot said, hey, no, you gotta say,
that parrot is ride or die. That parrot is ride or die.
You gotta say, free my dog, Papagaio do Traficio. That's what they call him. Drug trafficking.
Free Papagaio. Free my dog, Papagaio, man.
My man said, Mama police. And then when they said, what you said? You were like, no mas.
Right. Nothing.
Hey, so that just goes to y'all. Some of y'all pets are loyal to these folks you in the street with. If y'all want to do all that dirt and floss, You will be like,
get you a fucking parrot.
Get you a parrot.
Get you a parrot.
And that man ain't talking. He ain't speaking. And they still can't get him to talk. They got him. They got him selling crack. But the parrot said, no,
They got the parrot red-handed. Man, that parrot ain't say shit.
Hey, that parrot gave him the Shaggy defense.
Yeah.
Defense, it wasn't me. We got to tell the camera. It wasn't me. We saw you on the
I don't know.
I don't know.
That is the most gangster parrot on the
moral of the story.
The parrot is true.
Moral of the story, get you somebody real on your team, even if it's a bird.
Next thing you know, man, this parrot gonna have fucking bird feed traffic rank going in the zoo. This shit about to go down, man. Hey,
that bird is the kingpin. That bird is the kingpin,
yo,
man.
That bird is the truth. Holding it down, right?
Again, to our viewers, if you got any information on where Papa Diego is being held down there, please send it to the AWO Podcast so we can set our guy commissary up, man.
Hey, yep. And we got the premier Home Depot bird feed going to Papa Gio for now.
Going to Papa Dio.
Don't snitch on him, man. Keep it real. Keep it 100.
Salute Papa Dio, man.
Yeah.
We apologize for being a little heavy this week, but hey, shout out to Papa Gio, man.
Shout out to Papa Dio.
He hold it down, man.
Hey, give me some tags, man. Deacon, where you at?
Hold on real quick, really. Like, did Papa Dio start from the ground up? Like, was Papa Dio a lookout back in the day running numbers?
He might have been.
He might have been. He probably was.
Hey.
Papa Dio be out here flying kites, man.
Hey, he said, I'm the bad guy. They're the bad guy. Look at that. Here with the Scarface speech.
Come on, man.
Hey, he got
Papa Dio.
He looking at the news. He looking over there like Takashi, like snitching mother. You don't keep it real. That's how we roll.
Hey, when Papa Dio get out the zoo, man, he gonna have a 13-part Vlad interview, man.
No, I'm telling you. Wow.
He said, Mama Policia. And they said, what you say? No, Mama.
You saying shit.
Hey, give me some tags, man. Deacon, where you at?
Yo, the damn Deacon 44 on Instagram. We still ain't fucking with Twitter.
Gainesville, where you at, man?
Gangs on Instagram, man, and I'm gonna start accepting requests. I got like 40. I ain't even request. Like, my bad. I don't be on it like that, but I'm gonna get at it.
But that man say he got 40.
I mean, before this, I had some before this, but it's like, you know,
fucking Bill Gates sitting in that shit right now.
Papa Gio, man. Hey, look, I don't know you.
Papa Dio.
I know you, but I don't know you. I know you, but I don't know you. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna do better now.
All right. Hey, you can catch me at Soundchasm on Instagram. Catch me on Twitter at Chasm Sound. You got any questions, any inquiries for us? If you want to do some advertising or you just want to send us a topic, something that you want to talk about, hit us up at AWO Podcast at gmail.com. Catch us on Instagram at AWO Podcast, on Twitter at AWO Podcast 1. Fellas, that's all I got, man. Y'all got anything else?
Hey, man. No moss, no snitching.
Free my dog, Papa Dio.
Free Papa Dio.
They ain't built like you, Papa Dio.
I want my bird. All
right, man. That's the show for today. Remember, opinions are like assholes. We just some assholes with opinions. Appreciate it.
We thought. Papa Dio. Papa Dio gang.
Hey, hold on. Hey, that we go back to Birdman with that.
Papa Dio.